breaking free from the gender stereotypes, embracing authenticity for improved mental health. I'd like to welcome to the stage Reham Abukatwa, Urvi Kotari, my apologies, Heather Stokes, Dr. Maria Rodriguez, and Dr. Nita Nagra. Please put your hands together for our next panel. Yes, we're all hungry. We need energy. Right, the stage is yours.
All right, sorry, we're just waiting for one more panelist, but I guess she's not here, so we'll get started. Hi everyone, I'm Ida Nagra. Oh, she's coming, so I'm just gonna hold on for 1 second. All right, so sorry, as I was saying, I'm Ida Nagra. I'm a mental health nurse. I've been working in healthcare for over 17 years. In addition to that, I have a Doctor of Education and Leadership, and I've worked in various leadership positions in healthcare for over a decade now. And I am the founder of Fit to Be Strong Leader. And so we're going to start off. I'm going to be the moderator, and I'm going to be starting off by just explaining why gender stereotypes are important to me, an example I've encountered, and one way I think we need to address this, and then I will open it to the rest of the panel. So starting off, as I mentioned, I'm a nurse, and a gender stereotype that I've actually encountered is nursing is predominantly a female field, which is actually not true. I find it, there's a lot of males that are actually nurses. However, I feel that they encounter quite a bit of stereotypes of being nurses. Often the stereotype is, why are you a nurse? Why are you not a doctor? And especially particularly men who do want to be nurses, it becomes quite difficult. So I think something that is really important, and I actually speak about this in my upcoming book, is that as individuals, we need to be self-aware of what our self-limiting beliefs are, and essentially the beliefs that we were surrounded by growing up, because only once we're aware of our belief system, and especially those self-limiting beliefs, we won't be projecting them onto others or projecting them onto ourselves. So I'll pass it on to Maria.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Maria Rodriguez. I'm honored to be here today. So I own 3 counseling agencies in New Jersey, and I wanted to talk to you today about gender roles in motherhood, because one of the issues that I have actually in my career and my experiences has been being a mom and being a CEO, being a leader in the community, and how challenging that is. I grew up in a very strict environment as a Latina. Very rigid roles that motherhood is first and foremost, and your children are first. So motherhood to me, as I grew up, meant that you had to self-sacrifice and give up yourself and your dreams in order to be a good mother. And that's actually what I wanted to discuss as we go through our conversation.
Hello, my name is Heather Stokes. I'm the founder and CEO of Serenity Light Recovery. And I would say my experience, because I was going to share being a CEO and a mother, it can be challenging, but not impossible, and it's quite beautiful. So I'm eager to hear your thoughts too. So I'll go ahead and share from a client's perspective and an example they have transgender-wise, right? They come in seeking assistance and wanting to be heard, but there's a lot of stereotypes with transgender individuals as well, and so trying to meet them where they're at, and I'll go in more in depth, but it's it's an issue, you know, and it affects mental health.
Hi everyone, my name is Urmi Kotari and I'm really pleased to be here. I'm a certified fitness coach and an energy coach where we combine fitness with a lot of self-awareness to help people improve their relationship with their bodies and at the same time really taking ownership and making decisions for fitness, for nutrition, but also for their emotional relationship with their body. And that really aligns them with their authentic goals when it comes to making better food choices or choosing the right kind of workouts or after that going into being the true person that they are. And I'm the founder of Kinetic Living, which is also a book now, which was just published last year. And it is an original training method to do exactly this, where we are combining inner child healing with hardcore workouts, athletic-based workouts, in order to achieve this. And I'm also a Nike certified coach, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm going to speak about the gender stereotypes in fitness, not just for women, but also men, and how it prevents them from really going after authentic fitness as well as wellness practices that are inherently essential for our well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Rui. So, hello everyone. I am Rihan Khatwa. I'm the Regional Supply Chain Director. I've been working in the Middle East for the last 20 years. Diverse industries that I've been serving, where half of my experience is in pharmaceutical. And today for the gender stereotype, it's an interesting panel. All of us are women here. So I'm gonna recall when I started my career back in Egypt, where I'm originally raised and born. I started my career graduating from civil engineer. So I worked in construction, and in my early career, I worked in a field with 1,500 men, and I was a consultant. So it was a very interesting start of my career, being an Arab Muslim and in a culture that welcomes women in a stereotype different than what their capability can do. So this was one of the challenges or maybe the first challenge I faced in my career. After this, in several industries I worked with, in supply chain, we have in manufacturing sites, we have distribution centers, we come with distributors, we come with procurement, with suppliers, and in pharma we come with patients. And all those aspects also put us in a situation where we have to adapt, we have to understand the culture. I've been in the UAE for 20 years, and I think it's a land where we have cosmopolitan culture, and it opens up all our mindset, how we should learn other culture, how we should understand it, and unlearn myths and wrong perception. So I think it's experience that is very valuable, that adds to everyone's growth. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna ask, Urmi, you had mentioned authenticity. So I'd like to ask all of you, what is your definition of authenticity and how does it impact mental health?
Okay, so authenticity. So let me give you an example of my experience. Coming here for me was a challenge because I've grown up, as I mentioned earlier, I grew up with very specific rigid roles that motherhood is motherhood and everything else is secondary. So I have two children, a 14-year-old who actually came with me, and then I have a 4-year-old who, she's absolutely adorable. But I thought I should not bring her because it would be more challenging for me. So now, when I presented this idea to my family, they were outraged. How could you leave her? How could you go to Dubai and leave your child behind? And it was to the point that I thought maybe a week or two before, I thought, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go. So authenticity it's a balance as opposed to being self-sacrificial. Finding that balance between what you expect of yourself, what others expect for you, and what you can offer to your family as opposed to, well, I'm just gonna give up everything and be what they want me to be, because when you become what they want you to be or the culture wants you to be, you become depressed, you isolate yourself, and you get lost in life.
That's beautiful, and I'm glad you made it here. I do have a similar experience. I have two really little babies, 4 years old and 2 years old. And when I told them why I was going, my husband stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to take off when I need to, and we'll rearrange schools, and you go and live your dream and your mission and do what you need to do. And he's big military, you know, and for him to be able to step up in his role as a father and being able to say, and in his role of a husband, to say, I support you, right? It empowered me and encouraged me to stay true to myself, because it's, to be authentic, it's a journey of self-discovery, right? And to learn, if you don't even know who you are, how are you going to be truly authentic? And so giving yourself that truth, that at the time that you can be mindful and say, what do I like, what am I okay with, what am I not, right? And what is your purpose in life, and staying true to it, that at least encourages me and empowers me to be very authentic and outspoken, because otherwise I'm miserable and not living my best life.
So for me, authenticity is being real, is being genuine, and for the purpose of this discussion, I'm going to limit that to fitness and wellness from my side. And we are, like a lot of panel discussions have spoken about the necessity to be real on social media, and fitness is, I think, one of the topmost fields that has been impacted because of this, where we are promoting unrealistic standards of physical body types, and that is taking people away from really first embracing where they currently are. And yesterday also some amazing points came out about really first accepting, and that was through body positivity, but also then looking at health, and instead of having standards of measurements or having a certain six-pack or a certain booty type, having to actually measure biomarkers such as resting heart rate, body fat, which is important for even human cognition. Body fat is not just an aesthetic thing, it actually affects human cognition and memory. So really highlighting those important aspects, and how it starts affecting is, let's say I'm a woman and I love doing weights, but if I'm all constantly told I look like a man, or a man is told don't do Pilates because that's a girl's sport, they're not going to explore different avenues. And I've met so many students who come to me and say, you know what, I thought that this was such a girl thing, and I'm like, no, but this is going to really help your spine, it's going to help your posture, and they don't go and explore. And in fitness and wellness, enjoyment is so important. But if we don't know who we authentically are, how will we enjoy something? And that directly affects consistency levels. And we all have spoken about how exercise is important for mental health. So if you see, it comes back a full circle, but at such a fundamental level, we then are not emotionally connected to what we're doing. And that's when people say, I'm not disciplined, I'm not consistent. And as an energy coach, I tell them that it's not because that you're not consistent, it's because you don't know your why. Why are you pursuing this workout? Why are you pursuing this, and why are you eating this food? And people tell me, oh, you know, are you on a diet? Because they see my plate, and I'm like, no, because I know what this does to my body. So I think that's how the lack of authenticity and gender stereotyping is affecting in fitness and wellness, and how directly that impacts mental health. And the last thing is about having unrealistic goals. And in Nike, we used to say this thing, which is like, we turned around the campaign, but it was run like a girl is a really stereotypical phrase, which is used a lot, especially in schools. Right? Don't run like a girl, or oh, you run like a girl, and that's so insulting. But at the same time, we change and we say like, yeah, hell, I run like a girl and I sprint. So I think we need these kind of stereotypical statements are making it harder for people to embrace enjoyment and true empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you. So authenticity for me is how we create this harmony between our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. In leadership, we always want to create an impact, want to empower others. So how I link authenticity to well-being, it is empowering. It is empowering us when we create this harmony, managing ourselves. How are we gonna reduce stress, reduce anxiety, increase self-esteem, increase self-confidence, to open the door and reach people in front of you, to start the communication, the conversation, the impact, whatever message you want to deliver to these people. So being authentic is one strong element of being a leader to drive yourself for growth. And when I look into all those aspects, I feel that authenticity is driving our well-being to be better human, deliver better messages, and being adaptive. I'm hearing a lot about AI, I'm hearing a lot about e-commerce, I'm hearing a lot about new concepts of social media. We shouldn't be blind to this. This is the future. This is the new generation that we have to work with, and we have to coach, to give them the torch to start the era of whatever we started. So for me, I'm learning a lot from the new generation, how I'm adapting my mind, how am I adapting the business practice as a transformation leader who should be a visionary for the future, how we should open up ourselves to be authentic, well-being, and in the same time, adopt the future, the new wave that is coming to us. The new generation is very quick, very fast, and they don't have the patience to read papers, to read and focus on everything. They want everything quickly, at a glance, and they need us. They need our coaching, they need our wisdom, and we need to learn how to speak their language. I've been seeing a great example Zainab just demonstrated for us, where Zainab adopted all her mission to reach her culture through speaking their language, through the communication aspect of having forums where she celebrates in the music, food, or whatsoever. But in the middle, she has a purpose and a cause she wants to deliver to these people, and she found the medium. And I think what we're missing in pharmaceutical and in health business or life science business is how we should transition from the rigidity of science to make it a life science.
Thank you. I mean, you guys made some really great points, and for me, my takeaway, and actually I speak about this in my book as well, is that authenticity isn't actually something static. It's actually dynamic, because the person who I thought I was, when I was 21 years old and I entered nursing, I didn't think I could be a leader. Because growing up in my culture, women aren't leaders, but at least the women that I was around, they weren't leaders. And then here I am now, I have my own leadership consultancy. So I think as we're exposed to new information, we're challenging our beliefs, we're challenging those the phrases that society is imposing on us. We learn more about ourselves and we become more of our authentic selves. Great, so I'm gonna be moving on to our last question. So can you please, all of you, tell me about what modalities can individuals engage in to enhance their mental health so that they can break free from stereotypes?
And I wanted to add gender roles not only affect women. In parenting, for example, it affects men as well. I've given you my personal example of coming here and how my mom kept insisting that I shouldn't come, and the other women in my family. So, but then what does that say about the dad in the picture? Does that mean that he's not skilled enough, or doesn't have the parenting skills to provide a healthy environment for his child, right? So moving forward in how published a book with Jack Canfield. He's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And in this book, Success Redefined, we talk about how can we redefine what success means to each and every one of us. So in my practice, I've taught my deep clinicians that work with me that to look specifically at that family and look at the skill set that they have and how they can manage life moving forward, as opposed to constantly comparing themselves to what culture has taught us or to what we see in social media, because there are so much pressure that's put out there to live this perfect life. So what are your goals in your particular family? What does success mean to you, and how can you balance what you need to be happy and authentic?
For me, it's providing a safe space for an individual to learn self-love, so then they can empower themselves to be authentic. And the space that we create in our, inpatients, it's essentially a wellness retreat. Come and find yourself again, right? This safe space where there's no judgment, where you are cherished and loved for who you are, and we are going to help you on that journey, so you're not alone. You feel accepted, right? And then we teach different modalities like acupuncture, breath work. There's meditation, yoga therapy, exercise, life coaching, recovery coaching. You need that mentor to be able to lean on when life gets tough, whether it be a coach or someone that's been, which is typically someone that is very skilled in the same experiences that you've led, right, that can guide you, but giving them that opportunity to feel safe, to be truly who they are, and to be able to express it. And for me, it's meditation, yoga, getting in touch, having that quiet space. I don't like to be quiet, right? I like to talk. My mind is going a million miles a minute, and the moment that I'm silent, it's like, whoa, I'm just with me, right? And how do I feel, instead of kind of reading the room? And I just want to share just a quick story on that client that I mentioned and his struggles with transgender. He came to us, and he came with a name and a story, and about 2 weeks in, he made comments of, he's just tired and doesn't want to live anymore, right? So then we had to come in, comfort, what are your needs, how can we help you? We transferred to a higher level of care so they can stabilize, and then we welcomed him back, no judgment, met him where he was at. We had to identify, okay, what room would you be in, because it's co-ed, right? We have men and women, and we have a transgender. Where are you going to feel safe at? And are you willing to open about? Nobody knew that he was a transgender. He didn't want to share that, and he didn't have to. But what are we going to do about rooming, right? And so we gave him a place of his own, a room on his own, and just kept giving him that safe space, right? Then having conversations as to his why and that journey of self-discovery. And then he opened up and said, I'm actually wanting to transition back. I don't want to be female to male, stopped taking the hormones, but now just riddled with, ear and other things, and he had stopped, now I can say she, right? That she stopped taking hormones and wanted to be herself, but she was terrified of admitting that she was homosexual. So she'd rather become a man, because there was no acceptance. There was no awareness, no just unconditional love in her experience. And so having that conversation, she's like, what am I going to do? I have a beard. I don't know what to do. Well, can you shave? I have a 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, let's help you through this. The next day, she picked a roommate, right? Now she's open about her transition back, and she was greeted with love and kindness. She shaved, she put makeup on, and she could outwardly admit that she was homosexual, right? And we can give her tools to help navigate those feelings and empower herself to be true to herself. And she's smiling, right?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. That's amazing.
So regarding the modalities, first I'll just start with the creating the safe space, and I think it starts with our own home, that is our body. Before our rooms, before our houses, we live in our own bodies, and that's why I really focus on, along with fitness, the somatic practices such as even body tapping, shaking, dancing, which are unstructured forms of movement to really shake off that stagnant old energy or restless energy, and a lot of nervous system regulation, even aligning fitness workouts to align with their nervous system health. Nowadays, like we've spoken about screen addiction, lack of sleep, all of that is changing and elevating everyone's heart rates. People's HRV, which is heart rate variability, that's going into the wrong direction, and that's creating so much of a physical restlessness as well. So the first thing we need to address is our, like I said, the physical body, because that's our pool of experiencing life on earth. And combining that with shadow work and inner child healing can really help to accept the body and also overcome the traumas or the limiting beliefs, like you said, about I'm not good enough. And no matter, I have seen so many women and men who have come as students to us, or I'm quite popular on social media, but at the same time, I try to promote as much of it's not what you weigh. And they've come and told me I've lost XYZ kilos, but I still feel fat. And that's because the limiting belief, the inner child is still not feeling enough. And that's, of course, all parents do their best, but because of cultural conditioning, we are forced to believe that, oh, if you don't lose weight, you won't get married. And that's a very Indian thing for an Indian parent to say to their, especially their girl, where, oh, you better lose weight because you will not find anyone. And women are really going through a very disturbing relationship with their bodies with this. So I think no matter how much ever they do action-wise, if they still don't feel enough, so I think, I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, inner child work and creating a lot of awareness about, instead of measuring, like I said, weight or BMI, looking at biomarkers, looking at body fat, looking at VO2 max, or doing stress tests, that can really help. And stop commenting on people's weights the first time you see them after a really long time. And this is again, oh, you lost so much weight, oh, you've gained so much weight. Like, can you just be your own body, right? You don't know what that person has gone through. So I think a lot of compassion is needed. And at an individual level, I have this term which we use, BYOB, which is bring your own best shape. Because if we take care of our bodies, put the right thoughts and moderate amount of exercise, your body's naturally going to have its own intelligence to come back to its natural weight. So we don't need too many things in order to, but we are just made to believe that we need a lot. And lastly, do what you enjoy first, and community, like even Heather mentioned about retreats. I think the whole community aspect of coming together, moving our bodies together, that can create a lot of enjoyment. And yeah, I'll just pause at that.
Alright, so in order not to repeat what all the great ladies here said, I think I would like to build on what they said, that it's a journey. Transforming and changing something that we inherited from tradition and that's in cultures is not easy. And it will never be easy for anyone to change, but we have to start. And having said that, it's an ecosystem that we have to build. It has to start from parents have to have the tools to educate their kids. Then these kids, when they go to school, the the school have to have a good quality of education that will give them example and role models of what is a stereotype and that things can change. So education, and after this it goes into the community, where we need our community elements to be open for change and embrace change. Then going further, we have to create our networks where we have purpose and we spread the word together on hand in hand. We have to drive this change. I recall the Ikigai and the blue zones. Everybody now in pharma is talking about longevity and how, what can we take? Is the MTA IV working? Will it give me the push? Will it change my cells? Actually, they found out it's not what you will put in your body only. It's very important to watch out what you feed your body, the physical exercise, the creative exercise, but also your feeling of belonging. You belong to someone. You belong to a community that has a purpose, that want to do something that will give you longevity. This is very important that we create a cause and a purpose and we drive it with others. We are not alone in this world, and majority of the situation we are living in is because of feeling disconnected. We should not feel disconnected. We should not let social media put our kids in silos. Actually, they should step outside and connect with people to do something bigger, even on social media maybe, but let them connect open. Don't oppose new things, but use it as a medium where they can build on connecting to create this ecosystem to have a bigger change. And I think we are almost done.
Yes, that's right. We are at time now, so thank you for your great insights. And I know everyone's probably hungry and waiting for the recognition session, so thank you for listening to us.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Such a beautiful panel that we have here. Can we all just take a step forward to the stage so we can have a group picture? We need to capture these moments that'll stay with us forever. Great, thank you so much. A round of applause for our panel. And how is everyone doing in the room? Lift one hand up. Take a nice deep breath.